For those of you wondering if I'm still doing my walking videos, of course I'm still doing them pretty much every day. But the thing is that we've had some relatively strong weather here in the UK, so the wind has basically mashed up my audio. So sometimes when I play them back, I don't post them because they're too noisy, or you can't hear what I'm saying, or what have you. So it is what it is. But rest assured, especially with blue skies like this today, I am out and doing it. I saw an interesting video today by what's his face, George of Cryptos Are Us, right? Where he was talking about, he was answering a question that someone asked him about taking profits. And I've been thinking about this stuff lately myself, not about taking profits specifically per se, but about, the bull market, the bull run, and what state of it are we now? Because, like he also mentioned in this video, something I've been thinking about. Usually, the bull market lasts for about an hour. An hour. What am I smoking? It lasts for about a year and a half from the halving, and we've had the halving now about a year ago. So it leaves us about half a year for the rest of the bull run. And up until now, the alts pretty much haven't done anything. The only two alts in the top 100 that have done anything significant are actually XRP, surprisingly enough, and SUI. SUI's made a proper move. And Cardano made a little bit of a move, but nothing significant. But if you look at all of these tokens, they're all still like 70, 80, some 90% down from all-time highs. So what the heck is going on? Some have now speculated that perhaps we're not going to get an alt season this time around, or we're in an extended super cycle. So one of the two. What do I think? Well, I don't think we're in an extended super cycle. I think we're in a normal cycle. I think we still have one more cycle to go before this whole 4-year cycle thing fades away, when institutional money now supersedes by far whale money or Bitcoin mining and all that sort of stuff. I think we're still going to have an alt season. I think we're going to have it towards the end. I think it's going to kick off roughly in about 2 months. I don't know why. It's just an arbitrary feeling. There's no particular data to support it. Just the fact that it hasn't happened yet. And it's just insane if you think about some of the projects that are on that list. SUI, Cardano. I was looking at Polkadot as well today, and Polkadot is falling off the radar, man. In the last bull run, Polkadot was a superstar with their parachain auctions, all these other, like Kusama, and all these interoperabilities. So I think what's happened is Polkadot probably peaked a little bit too late last time, and the bear market basically pulled the rug off of under them. And since then, in the bear market, some other projects have been able to build and replace what it is that they were doing. So interoperability now is nothing special. Lots of L2s, side chains all over the place. Even our dear XRP now has a side chain, or has been developed to work with Ethereum. So who the heck needs Polkadot anymore when everybody can now do what it is they were trying to do? And of course, Chainlink is what everyone is reaching for. Also, this year, it's been about the institutions, right? And the ETFs and stuff. And their money is what's been moving the markets. And it moved it dramatically early, especially with Bitcoin. I don't know if that early move that happened to Bitcoin has kind of skewed the whole system, the whole plan, it's kind of skewed the graph, because right now is when Bitcoin should have arrived at its first all-time high crossing, its first price discovery. But it did it straight away last year after the halving, which is not in line with normal charts, right? Now, people are predicting, 250,000. George reckons it's 150,000, 140,000, that kind of range. Personally, I'm somewhere in the middle. So I think we might hit 200,000, because I think had the stuff not kicked off in the Middle East and the trade wars not be happening between the US and China, we would already be at 200,000. I think that was kind of momentum that we had, especially with the ETFs. But even with all this macro stuff, man, Bitcoin is still moving the way it is kind of testament of how solid this thing is and how deeply involved the institutions are and how interested and how much money is pouring in, that even with this level of FUD, it's still able to maintain the momentum, keep over 100,000. So if one of these two things ever were to clear up, either the trade wars, which is the more important one, and secondly, what's happening in the Middle East, de-escalates, right, or de-escalates, whatever you want to say, however you want to pronounce that word, then I think that we're going to see a big jump towards 200,000. And I think that man, the amount of money that's pouring in from countries and from BlackRock ETFs and people buying for treasuries, it's very easy for it to actually go all the way up to 200,000 by the end of this year or the end of this bull run, marking the top. Do I think there's going to be a crash? Well, first, before I talk about the crash, I think we are going to get, obviously, an XRP pump as well. And we're going to see price discovery and all that. And I think the XRP pump, unlike the rest of the alt markets, is going to be independent of what happens with Bitcoin, actually. I know Bitcoin needs to be doing well so that the general industry can do well. But apart from that, I don't think that the XRP pump that is going to happen, the top that we're going to see this year, is going to be dependent on the Bitcoin one. So much so that I think that it could even happen during a bear market. We've seen that before with some of the coins, especially some memes and stuff that just basically mooned in the bear market. So we might even see a top of XRP when the bear market is already declared, because the mechanics of what's driving XRP is different from what's driving the rest of the alts, if you know what I mean. So that is that. So I think there's some kind of independence and decoupling that is coming for XRP once things get into gear. In terms of the rest of the alts and in terms of crashing, I do think we're going to see a bear market. I mean, it just every season we get these people telling us, it's different this time. There's so much money. Grayscale is buying so much. The whale's buying too much. We're getting mass adoption, blah, blah. And before you know it, everything crashes 99%. Bitcoin crashes 70%, 80%. That's what's happened every single time. I know this time it seems like this isn't true. Look, the institutions, BlackRock is going to save us. But, why would they save us if they can allow it to crash and then buy at 70% discount? They'll happily let it crash. In fact, they might cause the crash just for so that could happen, knowing that you guys are going to be liquidated and wrecked, and that they can basically take advantage of that. So 100% it can happen. And if you look at the state of the world global economy at the moment, with the impending doom, and all the analysts are preaching impending doom. Warren Buffett is basically cashed out. A lot of these big institutional, experienced people in traditional finance are taking profits like crazy and building their cash stash in anticipation of the mother of all crashes, right? In anticipation of a complete collapse. Some of you call it the Great Reset, ushered in by God knows what. Everybody seems to be ushering it in one way or the other. So when that does happen, it's going to take crypto down with it big time, no matter what. I mean, because a global collapse of that magnitude, nothing can survive that. Now, the difference, of course, though, is if you're just dollar cost averaging and stashing, then you just get another opportunity to lower your dollar cost average. Also, once you're holding Bitcoin, it's a secure asset, XRP, secure asset. As long as you don't sell it, it just keeps its value. There's no inflation. There's no, it just keeps its value. You just wait till things go back up. If you have some extra money, you buy the dip, just like the whales do, and the institutions like BlackRock will, the governments, and then just wait for the next cycle. Now, The following cycle might be a little bit different, might not be as explosive as this one is, but it is what it is. No one knows the future, yeah? Macro events, black swan events, always seem to mess up the plan. As long as you're risk averse, take it easy, and never invest what you're not ready to lose, I think is the usual advice. Not financial advice, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.